I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, February the 20th, brought to you in part by Macrocin. To see how Macrocin compared to the Pioneer product head-to-head on a 4,600 head trial, go to macrocin.com. Also, Joplin Regional Stockyards got a big run here on this Monday for the regular feeder cattle sale. They'll start early, be going good by 7:30, 8 o'clock anyway. Got 10,000 head with lots of stocker types. You guys that need them, you need to be looking for places that get them so you can start putting them together. If you haven't put them together, I realize that feed is high and you got no place to do them, but there's not going to be any if you try to wait till late in March or April to get them bought. But you know, guys are still putting off buying them, knowing that they're going to need cattle to background this spring and summer. And the reason that they haven't went in and started buying them is the same reason that most of them are sold, because feed's so high and the availability of any kind of forage is almost gone. But check out Joplin Regional Stockyards on dvauction.com. Negotiating sellers are showing off. They've got the handle and gained a bunch of ground this last week, waited till Friday to do it, and your cattle feeders, the few that negotiate sell, they're fine with that. If backers want to hold out, if they don't want to give what they want until Friday afternoon or Friday night, what the hell, we'll just do that. They're getting so short bought, it's just hand to mouth right now, and they've backed the slaughter up quite a bit, so now they're going to be getting short product. They are being able to raise the prices on their box beef cutouts. Not sure if they're being able to move enough of that product to really do them any good. What we get to see of the spot box beef cutout trade is so shallow that it really doesn't tell us a whole lot about what's going on. Most of their business is done the way that they buy cattle. It's done out front with alternative marketing agreements and things like that. That little dab of spot trade that we get to see, it fluctuates so much, and we don't really know what's going on. And you know, and it just catches guys, you know, that are, you know, some retailers that are short bought, things like that, and it fluctuates. But they've raised the price on that, and like I've told you before on those box beef cutouts, it's just a menu that the packers put out there, and outfits that want them, food service and the like, they will buy off of that. Of course, they're not going to buy it if it's too high for them, and then whenever they lower it, they'll buy quite a bit. But they have raised the price levels of what they're asking for that. Of course, still not moving a whole lot of product there, but impressive cash gains on all types of cattle and beef this past week. Your futures didn't gain a lot of ground, but to tell you the truth, that's okay. Your futures, both live cattle or finished cattle and feeder cattle, are trading at a premium to what our impressive cash markets are. So you can't expect them to go up a whole lot more. And in fact, our feeder cattle on the cash basis didn't go up a whole lot more. They simply can't go up anymore. The cost of gains are so high, the availability of feed is so tight, and interest is up now. You just can't. You can't give any more for these feeder cattle, and we're giving right now, and have a prayer of even breaking even, let alone making any money. Now, yes, everybody's always betting on the come, but it's one thing to bet on the come whenever whenever your corn is $3 and something a bushel, let alone $7 to $9 a bushel. But I talked to Ellison Carter, my old buddy down there. He's a order buyer shipper out of Central Texas, just west of Weatherford there, and he's not seeing a whole lot of cattle, not shipping that many cattle because the availability is so tight, but did give me what he shipped out late this past week. These are delivered prices from Central Texas up into western Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, maybe even up in the edge of Kansas there. But had a load of 275-pound steers and bulls delivered for $2.31 a pound. 355 pounders at 229.25. Some plainer 350 pound steers and bulls at 215. 390 pound load at 240, 245, and they'd be pretty fancy and no ear at all. He said they were pretty fancy steers there. 390 pounds, 240, 245. They cost a lot everywhere, guys. 525 pound load of steers, average quality there at 188. 565 pounds, all yearlings, all steers, 214.15. On some heifers, and not a whole lot of those moving. Load of 300 pound heifers at 194.35. Load of 495 pound heifers at 195.45. A plainer load of 510 pound heifers delivered for 164.80. Now that sounds cheap, but you know they'd be colored up and they'd be have some brammer to them. How about a load of fancy black heifers, 625 pounds, delivered for 174.15. Let's talk about your. I actually want to tell you about a Feeder Flash gang member. I got tipped off that Scotty Boyer from Illinois won the Tri-County Cattlemen's Award, Cattleman of the Year in Macomb, Illinois over the weekend. He watches Feeder Flash religiously. We appreciate that, and we want to say congratulations to you on earning that Cattleman of the Year award from Tri-County Cattlemen's Association there. Congratulations. Talk about your feeder or your futures for last week. February live cattle futures. Monday was up $1.07. Tuesday was down 12 cents. Wednesday up 40 cents. Thursday up 22. Friday up 80. And that spot February live cattle contract, the open interest on Friday was less than 7,000. So you know there's not much trade going on there. It's about done. But leaping out there and leading the cash, it's pretty impressive there. Ended the week at 163.57. That was up $2.37 for the week. April contracts ended the week at 164.65, up 70 cents for the week. March feeder cattle, Monday was up 80, Tuesday down 55, Wednesday up 67, Thursday down $1.10, Friday up 30 cents, with your March feeder cattle contract ending the week at 186.52. That was up just 12 cents for the week. But like I said, you're running at a $3 plus premium to what cash feeders are bringing already, and they won't pencil out the way it is. April feeder cattle ended the week at 190.45, down 22 cents. Your corn, 6.77 3/4 cents a bushel. That was down 2 3/4 cents for the week. Beans ended the week at 15.27 1/4. That was down 15 1/4 cents for the week. Your fat cattle trade, impressive fat cattle trade through Thursday, and then it got higher and more trade on Friday. But through Thursday of last week, they'd sold 32,400 head negotiated in your 5-area feeding region. Live sales ranged from 158 to 162, which was $1 to $3 higher than the previous week. Weighted average on live steers, 160.71. That was up $1.09 from the wrap up of the previous week, and it's going to be more than that once we include Friday. Dress sales ranged from 254 to 257. That was $3 to $9 higher than the previous week. Gained a bunch there. Your dress steer weighted average 256.57, up 266, and it's going to be more up than that because on Friday Iowa sold 6,400 head confirmed, probably more than that. 24,300 head for the week. They're going after the good cattle in Iowa. Another decent movement in Iowa for a light trade week. 160 to 162.50 direct basis live cash sales. We hadn't seen the 162.50 until Friday. Dress sales ranged from 257 to 258, and we hadn't seen the 258 till Friday. So those once we get those sales put in there, it's going to raise those weighted averages. Going to be even more higher than what I just gave you. Nebraska 5,300 head, 19,500 head for the week. Live sales from 160 to 161 on Friday. Dress sales from 257 to 258. Kansas, 7,300 head is all confirmed on Friday. There will be more than that that happened after 2 o'clock. Only 7,600 head for the week. That's really light. But everything at 162. Guys in the Southern Plains, they gained a couple bucks last week. They thought there's no reason that we can't gain a couple bucks this week. They hung on till late Friday. They got it. The Packers have no choice but to give it to them, guys. 162. Texas, 3,800 head on Friday. That's all they sold for the week was on Friday. There'll be some more of that, but they had a light range from 161 to mostly all 162. You know, I'm on a group text with a lot of guys that are involved in the negotiated market. You know, a guy got some 162, was happy about that, but said, you know what, if I could get in one of those AMAs, I would do it in a minute. He just doesn't have enough volume to do it. But thank God he's still selling the cattle in a negotiated manner, still digging his heels in, and still helping get the higher market that everybody that's involved in the sweetheart deals grabs onto next week on the coattails and gets to enjoy it a week later. Box beef cutout values, your weighted average on all of last week's sales on choice cuts, $275.66. That was up $7.77 compared to the weighted average from the previous week. Big gains a little bit early in the season for to see that, but your end of the week market on box beef cutouts was even higher than that, about $4.50 higher than that by the end of the week, closing Friday at $281.04. Selects, your weighted average on all of last week, $260.94. That was up $6.44 on your weighted average. Late week sales, $5 more than that at $265.89. Spreading that choice select spread back out now. It had whittled way down there. You remember a week or two trading under $9 or about $9 there for a few sessions, but now it's up to almost $15 at $14.72. Just 506 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Like I said, that's just a spit in the bucket compared to what really is sold out there. We don't get to see all that. Your slaughter, disappointing, 627,000. They're pulling back on the slaughter. They have to. That they don't have all the cattle that they want, and they don't want to pay up for them. But that 627,000 for all of last week was 3,000 less than the previous week. 43,000 less than the same week a year ago. A lot of it was because of the Saturday harvest. They've almost cut that completely out. Only 7,000 cattle harvested on Saturday in your government inspected plants. That was half what they did the week before, and a year ago Saturday they did 53,000 compared to just the 7 we did this past Saturday. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services. And like I said, you guys that are going to be turning cattle out, backgrounding them this spring and summer, you have got to get an LRP on them. I mean, the price levels are just too high not to do it. The government comes in there and puts in some money on that. I have heard people are going to have to pay taxes on that help that they're getting on the LRPs. I'm not absolutely sure about that, but you might want to check into that if that's going to be a problem for you. But you've got to protect yourself somehow. The price levels are just too high. Some kind of black swan could come in there and absolutely take your head off if you don't have some protection. But get a hold of Dakota Moss or one of his agents there at Livestock Risk Services. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction ended the week based on an 800-pound cash steer up through your middle 12 states at 182.97. That's pretty high. That was down 30 cents from the end of the previous week, so it was off just a little bit. I told you that. They can't give any more for them, and we're not seeing as impressive ones as we were here a few weeks ago. But just getting back at the end of the weekend from San Antonio Stock Show, another beating in the swine showing of my daughter but we had a good time, and we went as a group, and we wouldn't have done that if we weren't showing hogs in San Antonio. And that's why you do it, because it's a positive thing to do, and they learn life lessons doing that. We actually did get to show her hog around the ring a little bit this time before we loaded it on the truck. So that we're gaining on them, guys. So anyway, we're going to Houston here in about 3 more weeks, and probably looking at about the same type of a deal. Let's talk about your cash feeder market last week, and your sales. Feeders were steadied at $2 lower in a light test. Same reasons I've told you. Calves and stockers fully steady. Now, I think they can get higher, and they will get higher. These lighter weight cattle, these grazing cattle, are going to get higher. People are going to buy them no matter what. If they've got something for them to eat, or they think they've got something for them to eat, they are going to buy them. They can hold off until end of March, April to get them bought, but it's just hard telling how high they're going to be. But they were sure fully steady last week, but I expect them to gain ground. They still look cheap, especially compared to the feeder cattle that you're going to have to shut the gate on and start rolling the corn to. Your Zoetis stick-out sale of the day for late last week or over the weekend was Winter Livestock Auction, Winter, South Dakota on Friday. They had 3,100 head, and these receipts are going to start getting lighter here progressively, guys, especially up in that part of the country. They've sold most of the cattle. When you look at this automated market report from Cattle Market Central, you see 389 head of 6-weight steer calves, and they were quite a bit higher there in winter. They averaged 643 with a weighted average price of $212.31 on all of them. 692 head 7-weight steer calves in winter, South Dakota, averaged 747, weighted average price on all of them $190.87. Look at some heifers, and they're not keeping many heifers back there. 332 head of 5-weight heifer calves, average 541, weighted average price $201.74. 537 head of 6-weight heifer calves, average 653, weighted average price on all of them $184.53. And 311 head of 7-weight heifers, average 741, weighted average price $174.16. Give you a few individual quotes, or I want to talk to you especially about my friends out there in Nevada Livestock Marketing in Fallon, Nevada. Jack and Rachel Payne had a good sale, had over 5,000 head, and had nearly 200 different consigners. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's unbelievable in a big population area where you have a lot of small producers. It's almost unfathomable in northern Nevada, where everything is spread out. It takes so many acres to even have cattle at all, and to have nearly 200 consigners at their sale. A lot of small groups there, but it was mostly all grazing type cattle. Most of the big cattle have all been sold out there. There's a lot of demand for them. They've had a lot of moisture to the west of them, both north and south there. But they had a package of steer calves, weighed 380 pounds, bring $2.90 a pound. Had a few small little deals of 3 weights that actually broke $3 a pound. There's your $3 calves. How about Fort Pierre Livestock Auction in Fort Pierre, South Dakota? 70 head of steers, weighed 724, bring $205.50. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere late last week or over the weekend, your Mackerson No BS top quote for the day, come out of Dunlap Livestock Auction in Dunlap, Iowa. They sold 4 loads of steers, average right in there about $595 on the 4 loads. They all bring $233.75. That's your feeder flash for Monday.